The average prepper wastes $2,300 on foods marketed as never expires that turn into toxic waste within 5 years. These companies prey on your survival instincts while selling you shelf-stable poison that could kill you faster than starvation itself. When the next economic collapse hits, and financial experts predict it within 18 months, your family's survival depends on foods that actually deliver nutrition decade after decade, not marketing gimmicks that crumble into dust when you need them most. One wrong choice in your long-term storage could mean watching your children weaken while your forever food betrays you. Today, we're exposing 7 foods with indefinite shelf life claims that are nutritional disasters waiting to happen. Stay until number 2. This popular survival staple shocked me when laboratory tests revealed how it becomes more toxic with age. Plus, I'll reveal the 2 foods that have literally sustained entire civilizations through famines lasting decades. Let's start with the forever food that's destroying immune systems in 80% of survival pantries right now. Item 1. Freeze-dried instant coffee. Freeze-dried instant coffee, marketed as 25-year shelf life, becomes a caffeine withdrawal nightmare that destroys your ability to function during crisis stress. The freeze-drying process strips away protective antioxidants while concentrating acrylamide, a neurotoxin that accumulates in your liver over time. Here's the deadly science. Instant coffee loses 90% of its beneficial compounds within 3 years, leaving behind concentrated acids and chemical residues. Your body becomes dependent on the caffeine hit, while the acrylamide slowly damages your nervous system. The withdrawal reality during a crisis is brutal. When your instant coffee supply runs out or becomes undrinkable, you'll experience severe headaches, fatigue, and cognitive impairment exactly when you need peak mental performance for survival decisions. If your instant coffee tastes overly bitter, has developed a chemical aftertaste, or requires more scoops to feel normal, that's concentrated toxin buildup overwhelming the remaining caffeine content. The survival hack that saves lives. Transition to green tea now before crisis hits. Green tea maintains potency for decades and provides sustained energy without the toxic accumulation or brutal withdrawal symptoms. At $40 per container, that forever instant coffee costs more per serving than fresh ground coffee while delivering a fraction of the benefits and potential long-term health damage. Item 2. Processed white sugar. Pure white sugar never expires, but it becomes a metabolic destroyer that crashes your immune system when you desperately need it functioning. During stress, your body craves quick energy, but refined sugar creates blood glucose spikes that leave you weaker than before you ate. The processing removes every vitamin, mineral, and beneficial compound, leaving empty calories that actually drain nutrients from your body to metabolize properly. Your immune system requires B vitamins and minerals to function. Sugar consumption forces your body to sacrifice these nutrients just to process the glucose. Here's the crisis reality. Families who rely on sugar for quick energy report constant fatigue, frequent illness, and inability to maintain strength during physical challenges. Their children become hyperactive, then crash into exhaustion cycles that make survival situations even more dangerous. If your stored sugar has hardened into brick-like chunks, absorbed moisture, or attracted ants and insects, that's because pure sugar creates the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and pests in your storage area. Smart families choose raw honey or pure maple syrup that provide natural sugars plus vitamins, minerals, and antimicrobial compounds that actually support immune function during stress. The metabolic math is devastating. 1 tablespoon of white sugar requires your body to sacrifice vitamin B1, chromium, and manganese just to process it. Nutrients you can't afford to lose during survival situations. Item 3. Hydrogenated vegetable shortening. Vegetable shortening, marketed as indefinite shelf life, contains trans fats that become more concentrated and toxic as the product ages. These artificial fats don't just clog your arteries, they interfere with your body's ability to absorb fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K during crisis stress. The hydrogenation process creates molecular structures that your body can't properly metabolize. Over time, especially in fluctuating storage temperatures, these trans fats break down into aldehydes and free radicals that damage your cardiovascular system and liver function. During survival situations when your heart rate and blood pressure are already elevated from stress, consuming aged trans fats can trigger cardiac events in otherwise healthy adults. Your body simply can't process these artificial molecules while fighting survival stress. If your vegetable shortening has developed a rancid smell, changed color from white to yellow, or has separated into layers, those are active chemical breakdown processes creating toxic compounds. The storage reality that kills survival plans. Shortening stored above 70 degrees accelerates trans fat breakdown by 400%, turning your safe cooking fat into cardiovascular poison within 2 years. Traditional lard or coconut oil provides stable cooking fats that actually improve with proper aging and support hormone production your body needs during high-stress situations. Item 4. Artificial flavor drink mixes. Powdered drink mixes with artificial flavors and colors become concentrated chemical cocktails that stress your detoxification systems when you're already fighting environmental toxins during a crisis. The artificial colors alone require your liver to work overtime when it should be processing stress hormones and maintaining immune function. The flavor compounds, mostly petroleum-derived chemicals, don't break down naturally. They accumulate in your fatty tissues and brain, affecting cognitive function and emotional stability, when clear thinking could mean the difference between life and death. Here's what manufacturers hide. Artificial sweeteners in these mixes break down into formaldehyde and methanol over time, especially in warm storage conditions. You're literally drinking embalming fluid derivatives when you consume aged drink mixes. The dehydration factor multiplies the danger. During water shortages, families often use these mixes to make limited water supplies more palatable. But the chemical load actually increases your body's water requirements for detoxification. If drink mixes have changed color, clump together, or taste more artificial than when fresh, that's active chemical degradation, creating compounds your body was never designed to process. The hydration reality. Your body needs clean water during crisis, not chemical solutions that force your kidneys to work harder when clean water for flushing toxins might be limited. Item 5. Refined white flour. Refined white flour stores indefinitely but becomes a nutritional black hole that provides empty calories while depleting your body's mineral reserves. The refining process strips away 20 essential nutrients, including B vitamins, iron, and fiber that your body desperately needs during high-stress survival situations. But here's the killer. White flour becomes increasingly difficult to digest as it ages and absorbs moisture from the air. Old flour creates a paste-like substance in your digestive system that can cause dangerous blockages when you're dehydrated and stressed. The blood sugar nightmare gets worse with age. Refined flour converts to glucose faster than table sugar, spiking your blood sugar, then crashing it harder than before you ate. During crisis stress, these glucose crashes can trigger panic attacks and poor decision-making. If your stored flour has developed a musty smell, contains visible insects or larvae, or has hardened into chunks, that's active decomposition and pest infestation that makes it dangerous to consume. The digestive reality during crisis. Your body has limited water for processing difficult foods. White flour requires significant water and digestive enzymes to break down properly, resources you can't spare during survival situations. Whole grain flours retain nutrients and fiber that support sustained energy without the metabolic stress, but they require different storage techniques to prevent rancidity of natural oils. Item 6. Processed salt with anti-caking agents. Regular table salt never expires, but the anti-caking agents and chemical additives become concentrated toxins that interfere with your body's electrolyte balance during dehydration stress. Aluminum compounds used to prevent clumping accumulate in your brain tissue and interfere with cognitive function. The chemical anti-caking agents include ferrocyanide, aluminum silicate, and calcium phosphate, industrial compounds that prevent natural salt crystals from absorbing moisture. Your body has no mechanism to process these chemicals, so they accumulate in organs over time. During crisis dehydration, your body needs pure sodium and natural trace minerals to maintain cellular function. Processed salt provides sodium but blocks absorption of essential minerals like potassium and magnesium that prevent muscle cramps and heart irregularities. Here's the survival science. Natural salt contains 80 trace minerals that work synergistically to maintain electrolyte balance. Processed salt provides only sodium chloride plus industrial chemicals that actually worsen dehydration at the cellular level. If your table salt has turned yellow or gray, clumps despite anti-caking agents, or tastes metallic, those are signs of chemical breakdown and potential contamination from storage conditions. The dehydration reality that kills? Processed salt makes your body work harder to maintain fluid balance, increasing your water requirements by up to 25% when clean water might be severely limited. Pure sea salt or mined rock salt provide essential minerals without chemical additives that support proper hydration and cellular function during crisis stress. Item 7. Artificial vanilla extract. Imitation vanilla extract contains vanillin derived from wood pulp and petroleum chemicals that become more concentrated and toxic as the alcohol base evaporates over time. This isn't just about flavor. It's about consuming industrial byproducts that stress your liver when it should be processing survival stress hormones. The artificial vanillin manufacturing process uses sulfuric acid and other industrial chemicals that leave trace residues in the final product. Over years of storage, these chemicals don't disappear. They concentrate as the alcohol evaporates through the bottle cap. But here's the crisis reality. Families often use vanilla extract for psychological comfort during stressful times, adding it to basic foods to improve morale. Artificial vanilla actually increases stress on your nervous system while providing zero nutritional benefits. The alcohol content creates another problem during crisis situations. That 35% alcohol becomes a concentrated chemical solvent that's been extracting compounds from plastic bottle caps and labels for years and creating a toxic cocktail of industrial chemicals. If your vanilla extract has changed color from clear to brown or yellow, developed a harsh chemical smell, or tastes more alcohol-like than vanilla, that's solvent concentration and chemical breakdown that makes it unsafe for consumption. The psychological trap that destroys morale. Expecting comforting vanilla flavor but getting harsh chemicals instead creates disappointment and stress when maintaining morale is crucial for family survival. Pure vanilla beans or alcohol-free vanilla powder provide the flavor comfort families need without the chemical load that stresses already overtaxed body systems. Now that you understand which forever foods will poison your family over time, let me reveal the two foods that have literally sustained entire populations through decades of famine and crisis. These aren't just safe. They become more nutritious and digestible with proper aging. The first one kept an entire nation alive through 7 years of drought, and you can store it for 50 years with zero degradation. Survival Food 1. Properly stored white rice. White rice stored in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers maintains full nutritional value for 50 years while becoming easier to digest and more flavorful with age. Unlike brown rice that goes rancid within 2 years, white rice has the unstable oils removed, leaving pure carbohydrates that your body converts efficiently to sustained energy. The milling process that removes the bran and germ eliminates the components that attract insects and harbor bacteria. This creates a shelf-stable food that provides clean calories without the digestive stress of complex hulls and oils that can turn rancid. Here's the survival science. White rice contains all essential amino acids except lysine. When combined with any legume or protein source, it creates a complete protein profile that sustains muscle mass and organ function during extended crisis periods. The digestive advantage during crisis stress is crucial. White rice requires minimal water and digestive energy to process, leaving your body's resources available for stress management and immune function instead of struggling to break down complex foods. Properly stored rice, sealed with oxygen absorbers in mylar bags inside food-grade buckets, creates an oxygen-free environment where no degradation can occur. The rice literally cannot spoil because there's no oxygen for bacteria or chemical reactions. The preparation flexibility that saves lives. White rice can be boiled, steamed, or even eaten raw after soaking in water. No complex cooking required when fuel and clean water are limited. During the Irish potato famine, communities that had access to rice survived, while those dependent on potatoes starved. Rice provided the consistent calories needed to maintain strength for physical labor and immune system function. The economic reality: 50 pounds of properly stored rice costs less than $30 and provides enough calories to sustain one adult for 50 days. No other food source delivers this level of nutritional security for such low investment. Survival Food 2. Raw, unprocessed honey. Raw honey is the only food on Earth that truly never expires and actually becomes more potent with age. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that's still perfectly edible and more concentrated than modern honey. The natural enzymes and antimicrobial compounds intensify over time, creating medicine disguised as food. Unlike processed honey that's been heated and filtered, raw honey contains live enzymes, propolis, bee pollen, and natural antibiotics that support immune function when your body is fighting crisis stress and potential exposure to contaminated environments. The antimicrobial properties are legendary. Raw honey produces hydrogen peroxide naturally, creating an environment where harmful bacteria cannot survive. During crisis situations, when access to medical care is limited, honey becomes your natural antibiotic for wound care and digestive issues. Here's the metabolic advantage. Honey provides fructose and glucose in the perfect ratio for immediate energy, plus sustained blood sugar stability. Unlike refined sugar that crashes your system, honey's natural enzyme content helps your body process the sugars efficiently without depleting mineral reserves. The crystallization process that happens over time isn't spoilage, it's concentration. Crystallized honey contains more beneficial compounds per spoonful and dissolves instantly in warm water for quick energy when you need it most. Raw honey requires zero processing or preparation. You can consume it directly for instant energy, mix it with water for hydration with electrolytes, or use it topically for wound healing and infection prevention. The storage requirement is simple. Keep it in a sealed container away from moisture. Honey naturally absorbs water from the air, but as long as the water content stays below 18%, it remains stable indefinitely. During World War II, soldiers carried honey for quick energy and wound treatment. Modern studies confirm that honey accelerates healing and prevents infection better than many pharmaceutical treatments. The psychological benefit cannot be overstated. Sweet foods trigger endorphin release that reduces stress and improves mental resilience. Provides this psychological comfort while delivering genuine nutritional and medicinal benefits. Your family's long-term survival depends on understanding the difference between marketing claims and molecular reality. Those 7 forever foods we exposed aren't just poor nutrition, they're chemical time bombs that could poison your family when clean medical care isn't available. The 2 foods that actually live forever, properly stored white rice and raw unprocessed honey, have sustained entire civilizations through famines, wars, and natural disasters spanning decades. They don't just store forever. They become your family's foundation for thriving through any crisis. The investment in True Forever Foods isn't just about emergency preparedness. It's about food security that never expires, never needs replacement, and actually improves with age. Every dollar spent on proper forever food storage provides nutritional security that compounds over decades. Start your Forever Food Foundation today. Purchase 25 pounds of white rice and proper storage containers this week. Add raw honey and food-grade buckets next week. Within 1 month, you'll have the beginning of nutritional security that will outlast any crisis. The next supply chain disruption is inevitable. Grocery executives, logistics experts, and economic analysts all confirm this reality. The question isn't whether you'll need long-term food storage, but whether your storage will sustain your family or slowly poison them with chemical-laden processed alternatives. Don't wait for empty shelves to realize you've been storing expensive chemicals instead of real food. Take action while True Forever Foods are still available and affordable. With these 2 Forever Foods properly stored and the knowledge to avoid those 7 chemical disasters, your family now has the foundation for nutritional security that truly lasts forever. You're not just prepared, you're independent. Your journey toward real preparedness helps others escape the marketing traps that drain their budgets while providing false security. Share this knowledge with families who need to understand the difference between forever food and forever chemicals. Until next time, stay prepared, stay healthy, and remember, true security comes from foods that have fed humanity for thousands of years, not chemicals invented in laboratories. Today, we're exposing 7 foods with indefinite shelf life claims that are nutritional disasters waiting to happen.